Welcome to the Listening Platform, where we slow down, reflect, and ease into meaningful conversation with ourselves. I am Guru Subramanian Swaminathan, a coach for life. In this space, we are embarking on a journey to listen deeply to the stories of ordinary people living extraordinary moments. Because I strongly believe that moments become memories with just a dose of intention. So take a deep breath, lean in, let's listen now. In today's episode, we journey into the story of Nirmal Kallore, a man shaped by discipline and values of an Indian army home. That spark never faded, guiding him to achieve his dream of serving in the army, but in combat reserve here in Australia. In a world that often rushes by, what can we learn from a life built on discipline and purpose? Let's step into Nirmal's world and discover this together. Thank you everyone for tuning in again to the Listening Platform. Today we have a guest, Nirmal Kallore. Nirmal Kallore is IT Delivery Manager and also Army Reserve. Welcome Nirmal to Listening Platform.
Thanks, Guru. Thanks for your welcome and much appreciated to be here.
Thank you so much. Let's start with your introduction for our listeners. Do you want to speak about your journey of who you are, what do you do, and what drives you?
Definitely. So, as you know, myself, Nirmal Kallore, I got 20 plus years in the field of corporate culture. I worked in various domains and platforms across the globe. I led a team of 20 people in my career, mostly in the banking and financial sector. Also, I'm an Australian Defence Force combat support soldier. It's been 1 year. I'm in the ADF. In the reserve capacity. What drives me here is the passion to serve the country, wear the uniform, and be in a continuous improvement lifestyle. So you can be mentally and physically challenged. Apart from my corporate life, that's the one which will drive it here.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nirmal. Would you like to explain a little bit more about combat reserve? You're the first person I met in Australia who is into that Army Reserve as a combat reserve. Can you please explain a little bit more?
Oh yeah. So combat support soldier is. So I'm based in the cavalry regiment.
Okay.
So my unit is in the Western Sydney.
Okay.
So I'm not purposefully not putting my unit name because of the privacy reasons there. But as a combat soldier, it's basically like I'm in the support group in the administration side. I support for my regiment.
Okay.
Plus I do the reserve. I mean, in the sense of proper military-based activities. We go for weapon training. We go for physical endurance, resilience. Plus, I do my army administration stuff on top of my duty.
Okay.
That's called combat support. So I support the infantry regiment. I've been in the administration side. So basically, I take care of the payrolls, the procurement, the paperwork of the administration, the policies.
Okay.
So all the administration side is on top of my department. Plus, you are a regular soldier in the sense like you are a reserve soldier. So you have to do the soldiering duties there. So whenever there is an exercise or when there's something you need to be there for your promotion course and everything, so that's one in the military standard.
Okay, it's both civil administration plus the military service.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, very, very good to know. Let's begin at the roots actually, right? So would you be able to walk us through your early aspirations and the path which eventually led into career in army also?
So as a kid, everyone got a role model.
Okay.
So for me, my role model is my father. He's a retired army officer from the Corps of Signals. I got inspired from my father's the charm uniform, the dignity, the respect, and the pride for the nations. So I'm seeing army since my childhood.
Okay.
So that was my root and my motivation to join the army. So even though you can see the standard of the life, the defense force is it is something you need to earn it. It is something you can't just buy. You need to have your sweat and the blood. You need to spend across and your commitment towards the nation.
Okay.
So that is the pride which drives me to join the forces, and that's what I'm here.
Amazing. It's a role model and inspiration from home.
That's right. Yes, role model from inspiration from my home. But you can see that a lot of, even though right now I'm the Army Reserve, I'm basically from a civilian background. But back of my mind, in my heart, it is always a passion to join. Even though I missed the boat sometime back, I always get a chance to join in the full time. But I feel that there is something actually lagging. So always in my mind, every day, night, in my dreams, in the morning, there's something I need to do extra. So what is that something? So that is a gap which I filled it, and I figured that something is nothing but missing my army dreams. I always live with my dreams, and finally the dream is actually coming live, in the sense like I joined the defense force, and it's one of my big tick marks which I put forward apart from my corporate career.
Okay. Well, in certain words you're using is really, really great to hear it again and again. Dream, your goal. I mean, you didn't say passion, but that's what is coming out. I can feel it.
Yeah.
How did you make this decision about coming into army? Like, is there any moment which said that, okay, this is it, I got to go for it?
That's a good one. So, as I mentioned that I'm seeing army since my childhood. So I always see, whenever there is any marching or parade, I'll be the first one, whether it's early morning, it's late night, I'll be always watching the people marching and the discipline life, Also, I get motivated by the charm of the uniform and the respect which they get it. That's the one, it's triggered my mind. It is something, the respect which you can't get it. For example, as a corporate employee, when you go outside, everyone will say, okay, he's a civilian. So if you go to outside, sit near anyone, you can always see that, okay, no one will see that, okay, yeah, I know that guy is something like that. But when you wear the uniform, when you go outside, you're actually standing out. So that's
Absolutely.
a respect. You get it when you join the defense force. And to get that respect, you need to sacrifice few things in the life. And that is because in the reserve capacity, it is a work-life balance is there. But to get into army, you need to be physically, mentally strong and courageous. You need to have the integrity. You need to have the service for excellence. So all the 4 values which army provides, the one triggered me, and I said, that's it. I need to go for it. And I look for the right opening. So I saw one of the U session which army provides for the people, the reserve.
Okay.
So everyone who get a chance should go for the U session. That's a kind of motivation factor which you can decide which corps and regiment you want to join, and they will guide you step by step how to proceed. And I went for the U sessions. I got inspired by the Army Ordnance Corps, which is quite in line to my corporate life as well. So I said, okay, this is what I need to be, and that's it. I will join the force.
Thank you so much, Nirmal. Probably I will take the details of that U session which you are mentioning, and I'll put it in the description for our audience.
Sure.
Now, in terms of both your IT world and also the army world, right? What are the other interests you have which makes you grounded? Because from the IT side, you are into the senior leadership position. So what makes you grounded?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, army has to be physically and mentally challenged. So I always go for 5 kilometers of run every day, 30 minutes. So that's my motivation factor, to be physically motivated to boost for my army career. So everyday exercise. Plus I play badminton to improve my agility, to go fast thinking. Because when you grow older, your brain also has to grow faster. So I think badminton is one of the games which helps me to take decisions timely manner and try to be proactive and do the things. And that's also kind of a game which quite good to make a matesmanship and a course mateship.
Okay.
So you can play as a team. Army always go for a team there, right?
Yep.
So that's why I always trigger my passion to keep physically fit and mentally strong. Plus, I was getting trained. For example, I'll tell you a story. So when I joined the army right now, coming from the civilian background, there are a lot of mental challenges which we face.
Okay.
So, for example, there'll be a lot of yellings coming into the picture. That's fact. Because they're not yelling at you. It's not targeting to one individual. They're actually making you aware, okay, there can be situations that you can't be just, they need to shout. So you can't say, hey, he yelled at me, nothing like that. So, and plus a disciplined life. This is something where it is lagging in the corporate world.
Okay.
But army will give you the disciplined and well-structured life, which always keep you mentally endurance to face any of the challenge. When I joined the academy back in Kapuka as a recruit, you need to make yourself ready in 15 minutes. Make your bed, shave, you make your body's bed, your course-mate's bed, and plus you help others who are actually falling behind. So
15 minutes, is it?
In 15 minutes. So in my life, I never do it.
Okay.
Plus you have to maintain your uniform standards in a proper military standards. So this is what make you army mentally challenged in many of the civilian life, and that helped me to drive many things in civilian life.
I mean, certainly inspirational, Nirmal. I
Of
mean,
course.
while I hear for it, and every journey comes with fair share of challenges, actually, right? And I'm sure there will be ups and downs, setbacks. How do you overcome it?
I'll give an example again with the army. So, when I joined the army, I've joined with a lot of dreams, and I'm the guy who in my platoon, so platoon is around 60 people. So there is a weapon training course. So being from a civilian background, this is the first time I'm handling a weapon, and you need to pass this course. This is very important. It's a bread and butter for the army. So there's a 3-day session. My section commander, we are always in a section, 2 section, 1 section, 3 section. I'm in a 2 section. So in my section, I'm always the last person doing the things last. So you need to assemble the weapon. You need to make sure that you even disassemble the weapon there.
Okay.
And you have to make sure you need to call out the right words in the right, properly manner once you accomplished it. So I always stumbled, struggled, but I always did in the last. But that doesn't mean any failure. My section commander always will say something, Kallore, you can do it. That always inspires me. And that is the confidence I always build it. And what I did to overcome that challenge, even though I made it slow, I always practice it during my free time. I practice it with my course mates. I practice it whenever I got, whenever we got the free time. So you just go for your course mates, practice. You overcome your weakness. That is what I always do it.
Okay.
And what happened in the last is like I passed the exam in the one shot, and I was passed in the competent grade in the academy.
Awesome. There's a lot of extra support you're getting to keep you on the track. Actually.
Yeah, that's what Army always say in the 4 values, excellence. That's the 4th word. So excellence means continuous improvement. So that's the word which I always think that you can do it. There is nothing failing. If others can do it, you also can do it. And my course mates, always Army works in a team play, right?
Okay,
so
correct.
My course mates always help me for my overcome to what all things I'm failing there. So we always try to mock the scenarios.
Okay.
And the same mocking came as a repetitive task. And that's why I overcome all my objectives, which I failed at.
Excellent. Because you have crossed so much, both from the IT side and also from the Army side, if you have to tell something to your younger version in terms of advice or in terms of principles, values, or whatever, so what is it you're going to tell to your younger version so that kids can listen to it and then start practicing it?
Oh yeah, definitely. The one thing always I tell them is try to learn from the mistake.
Okay.
Try to strengthen your weakness. So that is what it is getting lagging in younger generation. Be positive in the sense like, don't get afraid that, okay, I failed.
Okay.
Live example, I failed many times in the academy. In the sense, it's not a failure. It's like you're learning. So always I tell my course mates, you might have passed in the first attempt. That doesn't mean everyone is perfect. I have more experience than you because I'm learning every time. So this is what I always
classic example.
So you learn it. And this was the thing which I told to it was one of the jokes they have already made it like, you can do it in n number of times, but how experienced in the war field is getting it, that matters a lot. Same implies for the younger generation. Try to learn from the mistake. Don't get afraid of anything. Move on. There are always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. So I think this is similar to the concept which we keep hearing across, right? I think there are 2 paths actually, right? So one is the success, and second is a failure, basically.
Yeah.
And it's counterattacked by basically, right? There is nothing called as a failure. If you have attempted, it is always a success.
Correct.
Which means you are already learning something.
Yes, that's correct. And Army always value this one in a sense. There is nothing called individual winner. It is always a group or a team is going to be a win. So in the corporate world, it's different. There is always an individual
contributor.
Winner, right? So that is what I always tell the people. Defense will give you values, but corporate we need to embed those values for my team there.
Okay. How about the work-life balance? I mean, how do you juggle both sides? Is it like every day you have to be in the both sides of the coin, or how does it work?
Good question. So in the reserve capacity, you don't need to be there in the office every day.
Okay.
So it has to be Tuesdays, the parade night. So parade night is like you need to be there. So my unit is from 7 to 10.
Okay.
So I have to be there.
Okay.
And I think as per the paper, it's 20 days minimum you need to serve as a reserve, but you can go up to 100 days.
Okay.
But having the fact I'm going for 3 hours, so that means 20 days will eventually pile up in 365 days. So, but you can go a
More
number
than
of
that
days
also.
as well.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You need to balance your corporate and your life. But I always see, as I mentioned, you need to have this positive mindset in your heart. I always looking forward every Tuesday night, because that's a one you can be, you're actually contributing to the nation. So my family is very supportive.
Okay.
And my workplace is also very supportive, and it's by the blessing of both two people, or two of the balanced life. I'm just balancing, and my kids are very thrilled and pride that I'm going for Army Reserve as a soldier and contributing to the nation.
In both angles, like IT and both Army also, right? So have you taken any examples or the learnings from the Army side and incorporate into your regular work? Is there any approach?
Yes, you can see in the corporate world right now, the team building is coming up, right? The team, why it is coming up in the team building, because everyone wants to work as a team.
Okay.
Sometimes they will, sometimes they will. That's why in my team, I always act as a leader, lead by example. I don't make my team to fall into a trap where they can't fail to move forward. So this is the example I always say. There is nothing called individual winner.
Okay.
There's always a group. So always go as a team, work as a team, and come back as a winner there. So this is the clear example I took it to the corporate world. And it's been successful in many of the projects, because they say that, okay, we go for it because everything is now agile world, right? When we go for retrospective, a majority of the things is actually blaming. In Army, there is nothing called blaming. I can't say that, okay, because of this guy I failed. It's nothing like that. If you fail, whole platoon will get the punishment. If you win, whole platoon will cheer up for you. So the same thing applies in the corporate world. Go as a team and you will win the success.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now in Australia, I think when you reach year 7, around age 11 and 12, I think you can start going into cadets and Air Force and Navy and things like that, right? Is there any advice you can give to them? What qualities they should nurture now itself?
So it's up to us whether you can go to Air Force, Navy, and Defense, because whether it's ADF, Australian Defense Force. The qualities they're looking forward is you need to have the 4 values, always 4 values: integrity, discipline, respect, and your continuous learning there. If you encourage these 4 values, the service is the one which is core important. If you want to join the defense, don't join for the sake of there is something respect is there, so I can pride it. It is something you're actually giving a part of your life on top of anything. In the call of duty, everything matters is what you can provide for your life, provide for your nation, right? So that's called service. And respect. You need to be respectful for your buddies, your comrades, your mates, to what you actually, if you give respect, you will earn respect. Army will teach you all the respectful things which you need to provide as part of the training. When you're going to join the unit, it's nothing called harassment there. It is always respectful values. Now, integrity, you need to be integral part of the nation. So that means you can't be just saying one thing and say the another thing on the other side. Stick to your words. Do something good for your course-mates, your fellows there in your battalion. Make sure that you stick to the integral part of the values which you're giving there, and just move forward. And excellence. Army always give a lot of opportunities to move forward. So you need to have a continuous improvement and learning for each aspect of it. Don't just stuck to that, okay, that's it, I learned it. Always try for next. Do your courses, do your next thing, do your promotion thing, so that you can see that, okay, promotional values in many aspects of the life.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nirmal. I think whoever is hearing, I think as a parent and adult, they're going to expect all these things from the kids. Now, as a parent or as a first-time immigrant, what is that we need to understand so that we can support our kids if they want to get into ADF?
So it is nothing. See, Army, all the parents sometimes they say that, okay, you have to go for the wars and everything, and you have to something will happen. Of course, it is nothing. It is not the white collar job. It is not a corporate job. If you're thinking that it's a 9-to-5 job, it is not like that. it is something, if you if you want your kids to be physically, mentally challenged, and build the leadership quality and build the comrade and the matemanship quality, this is the place which you can get it. Army give you life more than anything else. It is something not the corporate can get you that. So the advice which I give to all the parents here is, make sure your kids is motivated enough to join the force. I personally recommend my son. He's actually now in the Australian cadets course right now, because he's actually seeing me as my role model. So I always encourage them, be positive, be fruitful to what you're doing it there, and show the integrity and the service for the nation.
Thank you so much, Nirmal. I think we started off with who was your role model, and your parents was the role model for you. Now you are emulating yourself as a role model for your kids. Thank you so much for coming for this podcast. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Guru. Thank you very much for your time as well. And thanks for listening to me.
Thank you.